Look at me. I'm running. I can run now. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the survival series. It's kind of been a while, you know? It has indeed been a while. I've done a few things. There's now rain implemented into the game. So I mean, it rains now. There are these ruins now that serve the purpose of not only making the land just more interesting, they also exclusively have mushrooms, right? So these red mushrooms will only be found near places like these ruins. So, I mean, if you want mushrooms, then you know where to look now, basically. You can now blow up the cave entrance, so do that. There we go. And the reason why I did that is because this cave system is kind of, you know, it's kind of more fleshed out now. Hey, look at this. Obviously, there's going to be ores down here, so like rough ore. There's going to be these yellow mushrooms. You can only find those in caves. Here we go. Here's some coal. Go over here. There is these white mushrooms, which you can eat and they restore hunger. And yeah, this cave system is what I'm going to be focusing on today. I'm going to expand it out more, probably up until this bridge here. Over here, finally, the last big thing I have implemented, the storm shrine. Now, in order to get the storm shrine, you're going to have to pick up these blueprints, and this will be a common theme. In order to be able to build certain structures, you need to go and find the blueprints. But just to demonstrate, if we pick up these blueprints, that gets ticked, we get a little XP reward. And if we come over here, we can build the storm shrine. It looks like this. And then while it's raining, these zombies will spawn. And this is the only way in the game to obtain malachite. And malachite will be used not only to build certain machines. I just got absolutely destroyed. Obviously, it's going to be in like crafting recipes and stuff. But I mean, I think that's about all I did. But before we start building, if you would like to see more stuff like this, please consider subscribing because it's free. You can always change your mind later, and it would just really help me out. So, like I said before, let's start work on this cave over here, or more like continue work, right? So all I basically do is just take these pieces and just like expand out the... Now, from what I have found, really one of the most important things to do while building these caves is to make sure there isn't a lot of overlap. Like, see this right here, like you don't want that, like that doesn't look good. But then once you do that, you end up with stuff like this. Well, you can still come over here with different rocks and kind of just like cover it up. So place that rock there. As you can see, that kind of covers up the little imperfections. Another thing you should also look to do is kind of have a unique shape to your caves. It's really important that if you are going to build caves like these, I mean, it's a lot of repeated stuff, right? Like there's a lot of crystals. Eventually it's going to get boring. So if you have different shapes and sizes of your caves, for example, like I have this big kind of open room here. We got this like crystal that's going to the bottom. It's reaching all the way down. We have this water, as opposed to over here where it's kind of narrow. There's not a lot of stuff going on. You got this like mushroom here. Like, what is that? Just try and have a variety. Like in here, it's all tall, and then it's probably going to get not as tall this way, right? So we're probably going to have the ceiling come down a little bit. So what we can do for that is maybe put the rock at kind of like a slant, like that maybe. And then that makes the cave feel more claustrophobic. So let's put another wall over here. And there we go. There's our ceiling. There we go. These rocks make things look a little more unique. And speaking of these rocks, let's grab this again. Put something in the wall. And when you're building up the walls and stuff like that, you want to have variety in your walls. It kind of sounds weird, right? But this is really like, these caves are built up of literally just the same piece over and over again. And I'm able to accomplish that by rotating and putting them at different angles and adding these rocks into the mix. It's really cool what you can do with really just one piece if you look at this. Okay, so what I was talking about with like the shapes of the caves earlier, here we go. I'm going to walk through this kind of narrow tunnel here, and then it's going to open up a bit more in this area. It makes things more interesting when you do stuff like that. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just cool. Now this right here this is ugly, okay? This part is pretty bad. Maybe if we took this again, turn it on its side. There we go. Look at that problem solving right there. Wow, I'm actually really pleased with how that turned out. I thought that would look a lot worse. The last thing I want to do with the shape of this little section over here, fix up this. Like, I hate how it looks like, I don't know, man. It doesn't look like it flows. So I'm basically just putting rocks over it. Here we go. Like, just doing that looks a lot better to me. I don't know why. Let's add all these crystals around, and you know, it might look like I'm randomly placing these around, but I'm actually really thinking about how this would look. All right, so with all those crystals placed down, there you go, if you're curious about how that looks. Now we need to put in the pretty lighting that really illuminates the cave. So I'm gonna turn the intensity up a little bit because we are dealing with a bit of a larger area over here. And I'm just going to place the light in every crystal and put the last one right there. And yeah, look at that. Now we have a whole section of the cave basically done. If you're not caught up with the series, the first episode is on screen right now. Go check it out. And yeah, see ya.